Bob Ramdas?
Yeah.
How you doing?
Hi.
How does a person living in the spirit deal with external evil?
Well, the way in which it's perceived, first of all, I understand evil as that which increases illusion or paranoia or separateness or separates or increases the multiplicity. And you can really redefine most of your evil terms, and they work in that definition. Good is that which unifies, awakens, brings to consciousness, and relieves human suffering, which is the same thing in a way. I also see that the game is designed perfectly, and that at the level where good exists, so does evil. And this polarity reinforces itself in a way, and it exists at a plane where polarities are. And so that you can look at the act itself and then impose the statement good or evil depending on its function or its effect. And you learn more and more that acts per se are neither good or evil, but rather the attachments of the people that are performing the acts that determine whether they're good or evil. It's not the people that are good or evil, it's the attachments that are good or evil. And behind every evil act is another being, just like you and I. It's just a being who's caught in a karma that's leading them to perform out of their attachments an act which has evil consequences, which is increasing illusion. As far as what do you do about it, you reward and punish good and evil. You recognize both good and evil as existing in the universe. But as you become more conscious, less and less are you able to do things which would be defined as evil. Not because you think you shouldn't do them, because you're afraid of somebody striking you dead, but just because you can't do them because it's too absurd. I mean, if I think you and I are us, instead of you're him or them, how can I steal from you? I don't steal from us. I may steal from them, but I'm not going to steal from us, see? And the predicament is that with increasing consciousness, more and more of the time, you're living at the plane where you see us beings hanging out on this earth, on this world, you know, this little round sphere. And less can you think of them as them Vietnamese or them in Washington or anybody, any thems at all, you know. More and more, they're just us doing all these weird, far-out things. And those things which limit human freedom and increase illusion, you work to get rid of. And I think ultimately that's the way you deal with good and evil. You do it because that's your incarnation to do it. At the same moment, recognizing that all that exists functionally. Suffering exists, evil exists, wars exist, pestilence, starving. You work full-time to end them all. At the same moment, you know that that's why they're there, because they're supposed to be there. And that's one of the paradoxes that people have the hardest time with. Seeing that it's all perfect and then understanding social responsibility. See? And that's the ability, the wisdom to be able to live with two levels of consciousness simultaneously. To work full-time knowing that it's perfect when you began and perfect when you ended. And that your working full-time was perfect too. It's far out. In the Book of Tokens it says, if you know not that the Prince of Darkness is but the other face of the King of Light, you know not me. To me it's obvious there's only one. And all law comes out of that one. And the two comes out of the one. And because two comes out of one, good and evil, or dark and light, or the Prince of Darkness, that's all comes out of the one. And the one is the law. That's the law. That's the first commandment. Thou shalt only love the one. Okay? The little bit I've been able to grok or grasp or feel of the universe has always, the law has unfolded in its exquisiteness. And it boggles, of course, the mind, because the mind is merely a little sub-product of this law. And the law isn't logical. The law is full of paradoxes because it's, quote, the natural law or the Tao. And so in that sense, it's all perfect. It's all lawful. It's all happening just according to plan, including what we have to do about it, right? Those are the two levels. Those are the two levels.